Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for a Tau, Aave and LTC price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're going to start with Tau here on the daily, where we are looking of course at the all-time history. We have our impulse towards the upside, so this is of course the direction of the market. Basically we're looking for higher, especially after this very long sideways here, as a potential triangle here unfolding. Of course for this correction can be an A, B, C, D and an E finished, and we're looking for higher in any case scenario here for a bit and soar, and we're looking of course for something very impulsive to unfold toward the upside. Another possibility here is of course a W, X and a Y finished over there at the 1-to-1 fib level, failing to take the low, and we saw of course an impulse as a wave 1 here, and then followed by a W, X and a wave Y to finish here of course as this correction for a wave 2, and then pushing for higher prices again. Now of course a little bit far possibility to be here in a wave 2, since of course this is a W, X and a Y very long sideways, and based on the wave 1 here is a very fast wave 1, so you would like to see of course continuation directly toward the upside. Therefore highest possibility is a finished triangle here for me in a wave B, and we might be of course looking therefore for a wave C toward the upside for bit and soar. That means of course I'm looking for this wave A to repeat itself exactly in this area to reach of course a wave C. In case it is logarithmic, it's gonna be logarithmic the same as it was here. We're gonna see a very massive move here toward the upside. Now the 1-to-1 fib level, I would consider this. I think I'm gonna repeat here the targets just to make it clearer. So what I'm looking for here is exactly this target. This target as a zigzag. I'm looking of course in case we are logarithmic, as I mentioned, this might be very massive. It might be very long move of course for bit and soar, repeating the same move over there, logarithmic. But in case not logarithmic, of course, then to be safer, we will go here of course first in the linear. So the linear would have to reach at least this target area between the $933 and $655 for bit and soar, and that means of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 might be unfolding over there for the 900 and can be reached the 1000 even of course as psychological number. So these are my expectation of course for bit and soar. Now confirmation for higher this time of course taking this high at $548. If we dive inside it on the 2 hours chart, we can see of course we have several 1-2s here. After we have finished here, of course this cannot be considered an impulse anymore because we took the low over there. Everything was of course corrective as an A, B and a C here, and we saw of course a double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4 and a 5. And then of course we have currently of course several 1-2 in of course 3, 4 and a 5 to finish the major wave 3, and then pushing for 4, 5, 4 and a 5 continuation toward the upside. If we take here of course the fib levels taken from the 1 to the 2, we will see of course that we have overpassed the even 2.618. Also if we take the fib level from this wave 1 to the wave 2, we will see that the 2.618 is still required. You have passed the 1.618, so it's very bullish, I would say. This is looking really bullish, and I'm looking still of course for higher. Why? Because the structure are not finished yet. We have only one impulse and we're still looking for 4.545. So 2.618 is at least my requirements here for a wave 3 there to finish up, and then of course continuation even with several structure for 4 and a 5. So this is very bullish, I would say, for bit and soar. Now the next target for in precision might be of course even for a wave 5. Yeah, it has been already reached even. That's very interesting for bit and soar. So still remaining of course the extension, which is anyway it is unfolding obviously, which is 1.618 273. Yeah, so we are looking basically for this number. Maybe I believe that 2.618 will be easier to take anyway, and we will see of course a wave 4. Be careful, the wave 4 might be deep here, okay, because we have of course a flat for a wave 2, and then of course pushing for a wave 5 later on. Next, we're gonna see Litecoin. For Litecoin, we're gonna also see the all-time history. For Litecoin, we are looking here at the three waves toward the upside, which it can be, of course, wave A. Now we have a followed very clear triangle, A, B, C, D, and a E, and we're looking for wave C toward the upside. Minimum target is the 1-to-1 fib level there on the linear. On the linear, because the logarithmic will be very, very huge, and of course it's unsafe. So therefore, of course, we're gonna take the linear chart here, and of course we have the A, B, C, D, and a E triangle, and we're looking for a wave C toward the upside to unfold. Now this wave C has to be, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 impulse toward the upside, but of course we cannot count this as an impulse there. I think I'm gonna take this in the wave E here, despite of course that the wick has potentially finished exactly the wave E there, and that we finished all the counts exactly here, and that we are looking at a 1-2, but unfortunately on the 4 hours chart here, it's not clear really that this is a wave 1, of course, and you cannot take this as a wave 2. Therefore, I'm going to consider my low there for a wave E potentially finished. And of course, we're looking here for something higher to unfold. Now, if we are looking for something as a 1, 2 here, and you're looking for 3, 4, and a 5, well, it is required, of course, to take the 1.618, $88 for LTC here, and then pushing for higher in a 4 and a 5 later on. In case we are in an ABC, don't forget that we hit perfectly the 1-to-1 Fibonacci level, $83. And if there is something to unfold here as bearish, it should start to show up. If we break it, if we break this level a little bit much higher, that means, of course, the next target is very possible. And if we take a closer look here, you can see that you don't have yet anything impulsive. I would say everything is still corrective here, and it is building, of course, some momentum, and potentially, of course, we might continue the push toward the upside here for Litecoin. Yeah, so 1.618 to be watched, $88, is a target. Next one we have here is Aave. For Aave, we're gonna also see the all-time history. So for Aave, we have an impulse, of course, in the all-time history. Direction of the market is upward, and we see, of course, here a very long sideways correction. Now, if we want to count A, B, C, and D and a E can be, of course, if you want to ignore here a little bit the wick, because the wick is horrible, of course, for this market, and I see, of course, like it's impossible to take this low in normal price action. We're gonna push for higher before it. And then, of course, therefore, you have to consider here, by ignoring this wick, as an A, B, C, D, E. If we are in a finished wave E here, we're looking therefore for the wave C. Linear chart 762 is a minimum requirement here for wave C. If we are in 1.618 for a wave 3, then okay, 1208 can be very, very likely. So this triangle right now has to unfold something really high toward the upside. In case that we have finished anyway, WX and a Y, meaning you don't want to ignore the wick, this is a WX and a Y, then we have to consider a 1, 2 here, and then 3, 4, and a 5. And that means, of course, the wave 1 is somehow hidden, and you got an ABC there as a wave 2, and we're pushing toward the upside. Now, the wave after the wave 2 here, we see an impulse as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We're still looking, of course, for this wave 5 to unfold. The target here for a wave 5 might be the following, as of course inside this blue box. So we're looking exactly between the $170 and $173 here for Aave. Yep, so these are the possibilities for Tau, Aave, and Litecoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.